Now, I'm just not good at apologies. Never have been, never will be. But I feel like I owe these guys somewhat of an apology because I discounted this driver way too early. You see, I tested its brother and absolutely loved it. My dad has its uncle and it's transformed his game. So why on earth would we not give this more of a shot? Let me explain. You see guys, the driver that I am indeed talking about today is a driver which I never thought I would hit 300 yards in the studio. We are going to talk numbers later on in the video for this, but spoiler alert, I was proved wrong. And this is supposed to be one of the most forgiving drivers on the market, but I could still kind of manufacture the spin rates I wanted. I could still have quite a lot of forgiveness on bad shots, and realistically, what more do you want? And you see, that's what I really want to talk about in today's video, really more than anything. It's not the 300-yard drive, it's not the drive that can get out there spinning at 2,000, it's got 160 ball speed, which again I never anticipated, but it's the drive that I didn't quite catch and still carried over 270 yards. Because with any other of the modern day drivers, you're going to get ball speed from the middle, you're going to get it to perform, but maybe not from the toe, from the heel, or if you just don't catch it. I'm of course talking about the Mizuno STX230 driver. You see, I reviewed the STZ driver just a few weeks ago. That was the low spin driver, the player's driver if you will, the driver which the tour players will use. But we ain't tour players. Well, I definitely ain't. So if that's the case, is this Mizuno STX230 driver, together with its Cortex chamber, its B titanium face and 4-way adjustable hosel, the answer? I'm starting to think maybe it could be. You see, just looking down at this driver, it actually looks really nice. The head doesn't look draw biased, it doesn't look like it's going to be the most forgiving club on the market, but Mizuno do claim this could be up there for forgiveness. In fact, the reason why I'm doing this review, I'm actually filming my top 5 forgiving drivers of 2023 today, and I wanted to make sure I've tested all the options. This was a glaring option that I hadn't tried, and like I said, I'm not good at apologies, but I had this message on my phone when I tested the Mizuno STZ driver, and I ignored it. That's very rude, I know, I was busy, but now I've tested this, now I've had it in the studio, guys, I'm going to talk you through numbers a little bit later on, I feel a bit of an idiot. That happens like a regular occurrence for me, but more so than usual. Right, I'm actually hoping that I swing mediocre today, that I swing average, and we see just how well these drives do go. I mean, that's not a great start because I've absolutely ripped that one, and that's bounding down the fairway. That was a strike that with this driver I really like. It was a tiny bit out the toe, as you can see there, and actually guys, I've used this 4-way adjustment to crank it down in loft a bit. This is playing 8.5 degrees and I'm really enjoying the ball flight that it gives me. That 4-way adjustable hosel works magic, and you can see that weighting is just pushed back left a little bit. If we had it kind of that way, it is pushed back towards the heel just to help you get that tiny bit of draw bias. Now, I wouldn't use this driver for that personally, but I do know a whole host of golfers that would. You see, when we talk about what drivers tour players use, it always makes me laugh a little bit, and it makes me think, well, they're the best in the world, they're hitting the face more often than not. And there are tour players out there using this Mizuno STX230 driver, and they're a lot better than me. Probably you, I can't speak for you, but right, come on, bad swing, James, bad swing. Got a great shaft in here as well, hazardous 6.5 smoke with the green top. I've nailed it again. That's like the perfect line as well. Oh, you're honestly going to be able to throw, that's the same, it's a perfect top. I've nailed it again. I mean, that's not a great start. That's like the perfect line as well, that one. And that's bounding down the fairway. I honestly think there is a matter of inches between those two and millimeters between the strikes on the face. Are they good shots, or is this just the best forgiving driver ever? It feels and sounds incredible as well. Where have I been to not test this driver? The answer, James, you have had your head firmly up your right. Can we get this exactly the same? I'm actually hoping to a good one now. Come on. Oh, it's exactly the same. That's even drawing a touch. Same strike over the bunker. That one's maybe 5 yards left of them. Guys, let's down. I am honestly lost for words. Let's get down there, let's see just how consistent they are, then let's jump on another tee and let's see if we can hit some more. Guys, we're going to jump in the studio in just a few moments' time. I can't wait to show you, first of all, the good shot, because that's always nice. It's a little bit of a motivational boost, but I also can't wait to show you the bad shot, because that could be the shot that determines if you go and try this driver or not. Honestly, it looks brilliant. It really does, even with grass on it. Sorry, Mizuno. They may well be 3 of the most consistent drives I've ever hit on this hole. And I must say, this isn't the easiest driving hole either. If you take it tight over the line that I have over that bunker, the last thing you can do is turn it over, because then you're in a whole heap of trouble. So you know I said those first 2 were going to be very close. How about that for 2 drives, fresh out of the blocks on a Friday morning? The other one's going to be slightly left. It might be a bit longer as well, because that was the actual tiger line. But again, if we look at the centre line on this hole, can't really play 2 better drives than that. Just left of centre, absolutely perfect. Where's the third? The third one's over the brow of the hill. The third one's down there, huge. Now that might be the kind of 300-yard drive that I spoke about in the studio, but I want to hit it badly. I want to hit it badly. Okay, so I'm sure you're all wondering, James, in this product review, you're not really talking about the technology in this club. Why aren't you telling us about the tech in this club? You see, it's very similar to its STZ brother, with the use of carbon on both the sole and the top, with the weighting at the back. However, the weight has moved a little bit to make it more draw bias, with that Cortec chamber and also with the titanium face. Guys, I will, if you want to see all that, I will link the STZ video in the description below, just so you can hear all about it. But the big thing for me, I love this shaft as well. Hazardous, smoke, feels shorter actually. I don't know if that's helping me keep the ball in play, but the head honestly is to die for. It looks gorgeous. Little smoked out Mizuno logo on top. I feel like that was the bad swing. It was still like a little bit at the toe, but that's like we're into the wind now as well. So this is where this driver may have its little problems if it is a higher spin driver. But to be honest, where that ball's finished really isn't upsetting me. I feel like I can kick on from there. Can I move it right to left in this wind? Maybe pick up another 5 or 10 yards by doing that. Oh, that's the bad one. Oh, left! That's the problem with me. When I try and turn it over, it turns over like way too much. That one's in the trees. It's not on the net. In fact, I think with another club, the reason I've shouted 4 there is I thought that was going over to the next hole. I'll show you exactly where it's finished, should we find it. This was the shot that I thought was on the other hole. Still in play. It might have caught these trees and kicked out. Actually, that is luck of the draw, but we've still got a shot in to that green. Let's hit one more. Then we're going to jump in the studio, we're going to talk numbers, we're going to talk forgiveness, we're going to talk spin, ball speed and all that good stuff. Then I've got an extra special challenge for it. And if the challenge pays off, you might want to think about trying it. Right, just a normal swing. Oh, that is so good. That is so good. That is launching beautifully for an 8.5 degree driver as well. Right, let's jump in the studio, let's see how they perform, and then, like I said, extra special test. So testing this driver for me was quite interesting, especially inside. I obviously did this before I took the driver outside, as you can tell from the way that I've been talking in this video. I never anticipated this to be one of the longest drives of the year, just because of how the weighting's sporadically put out and just how it's supposed to be more of a kind of high spin forgiving driver. That being said, as you can see, they're all pitching around 270 plus, especially that for the bad shots to do that is quite interesting for me. That one's pitched over 280, running over 300 yards, so it can be a long club if it needs to be. Another one here that's a bit more penetrating, running up to the 300 mark. If we do look at the numbers, you'll see the ball speed at 158 average is pretty good, spinning at 2.2, so it's not too high spin for me at all. Average carry 276 with just 6 yards kind of between the burst and the best. And as you can see from the top right there, very interesting dispersion for that to still have a 274, 275 average carry, which is my average carry, and that dispersion is very, very impressive for the swings that I've put on it. And you see, a really interesting part of all this for me is marketing behind drivers, because when tour players test a new driver, they don't know what it's called, they don't care what it's called, they don't know what it does, they don't know what technology's in it, they just want to know, is it going to, this fairway looks really narrow now, Is it going to improve my driving stats? Is it going to help me make more money and essentially help me play better golf? If we approached it like that in fittings, we'd probably all end up in slightly different drivers. The fact this is marketed as the forgiving one might put a few people off, even though that is entirely what we need. Let me show you what I mean about this fairway. See what I mean? That's the lake there. We're going to try and hit this landing strip here. And honestly, I'm going to put again on screen now just how good this driver looks down at the ball, because it does look so good. The head shape is glorious. Come on, James. Fairway ball. Fade. Fade. It is. It is. That wasn't a good hit either. And that is in play. Not in the fairway, but it's in play, which is a huge coup for me on this hole. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, smash that subscribe button below. 60% of you guys who watch aren't subscribed. That breaks my heart. Not that bad, am I? Guys, hit that subscribe button, throw a like on it, and I'll see you all exactly the same time tomorrow. Let me know what you think. The Mizuno STX driver.